deny that you attacked either of the two accused?
Yes, sir, of course.
But you did believe that the copper was being stolen.
Wasn't been borrowed, was it?
But you believed that because your husband hadn't told you that in fact he'd sold it.
Why should he tell me lies?
Well, did your husband always tell you everything that went on?
Of course. And the boys, too. They always tell me everything, in case anything happens.
So if he didn't tell you, you'd be very angry.
I don't know what I'd be, since he's never done it now, do I?
I see. Thank you, Mrs. Richards.
Mrs. Richards, you realise that it follows from what you say that this young boy has been party to a violent attack upon you?
Of course.
And do you have any reason to invent such allegations against the boy, knowing the consequences for him?
Look, mister, I've got sons of my own, and I wouldn't harm any child. But one thing's certain, this is the best thing could have happened to that boy, now that he's put in care and school and getting...
Mrs. Richards, that is no concern of yours. Now, members of the jury, you must appreciate that a temporary order was made, putting their boy into the care of the local authority, not a permanent one.
But it will be when Jack Smith gets what's coming to him. And a good thing, too, if you ask me.
Thank
I
you,
know
Mrs. Richards. That is enough.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mrs. Richards. You may leave the box.
Thank you, mister.
That is the case for the prosecution, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Golding. Now, Mr. Dealey.
My lord, I have a submission to make.
Yes.
My submission is this, that with regard to my client, there is no case to answer.
No case to answer. Mr. Dealey, there is a mass of evidence against your client for the jury to consider.
There is indeed a mass of evidence, my lord, but there is no evidence to show that the child is over 10 years of age. And of course a child under 10 cannot be convicted of a crime. Indeed, he cannot even commit a crime.
Yes, I see. I must confess that that had not occurred to me. Well, now...
My lord, these are, of course, very serious charges for this child to face. And in my submission, there must be very clear evidence as to the child's age before these charges are left to the jury.
Yes, well, a person's age is usually proved by the production of a birth certificate. I could allow the prosecution time to produce a birth certificate.
My lord, no, there is no birth certificate for this boy. It would appear that his birth was never registered.
Besides, my lord, I think it would be quite improper for the prosecution to reopen their case.
Yes, I suppose the accused, Smith, knows the age of the boy.
Well, that would depend, my lord, upon whether he was there at the birth or not.
Yes, Mr. Dealey, you're quite right.
My lord, my submission would release this boy from his present position of being threatened with 2 serious convictions at the very outset of his life.
Yes, I am well aware of that, Mr. Dealey. I am here to apply the law. I am right, am I not, Mr. Golding, in saying that a jury is entitled to draw its own conclusions as to a boy's age from his appearance?
My lord, yes.
Well, then I think we'd better have a look at him. Leo, will you come down into the well of the court, please? Now, come down here and don't be afraid. Look up at me.
That boy's 14 of it today.
Mr. Dealey, I reject your submission. I mean, if it was an obvious case where the boy looked to be 5 or 6, then I would have allowed your submission. But the case is not as obvious as that, and I'm afraid it is the jury that must make up their mind as to how old the boy is, not me.
Very well, my lord. Leo, would you go into the witness box, please?
Now, members of the jury, if children understand the oath, they can give sworn evidence. If they do not understand the oath, then they may give unsworn evidence. Now, it is for me to decide whether they should be sworn, but you should listen very carefully so that you can make up your mind about the reliability of what he does say. Now, boy, do you know what is meant by being sworn in a court of law?
Oh, yes, sir. It's when you say, I swear to speak the truth, so help me God.
Do you know who God is?
Of course I do. If you asked him nicely, he'll do things for you.
Would you show him the book, please? Do you know what that is?
I can't read nothing, mister.
Really?
Yeah. Moses and the bulrushes, Leo, you know. Daniel and the lions and all
Smith,
that, son.
I know you're trying to help, but it'd be better if you did not interrupt. Well, boy?
The Bible.
Yes, that's right. It is part of the Bible, the New Testament. Do you know what that is?
It's all about Jesus and what was persecuted, like Jack and me.
Yes, well, never mind about that. Now, you do realise, do you, that it is considered very wrong, indeed a crime, if someone takes the oath and then does not tell the truth?
Yes, sir. Jack says you can go to prison for telling lies to judges.
Very well, let him be sworn.
Take the book in your right hand and repeat after me. I promise before Almighty God.
I promise before Almighty God.
To tell the truth.
To tell the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Leo, your full name is Leo Trotsky.
Yes, mister.
And where do you live, Leo?
In Jack's wagon.
That's in the lorry that you were in the night the police stopped you? How long have you lived with Jack Smith?
Dunno.
Can you remember living with anyone else, Leo?
No.
Now, can you remember going to Jimmy Doby's earlier this year?
Yeah.
Do you remember a conversation between Mr. Richards and Jack about copper? Can you tell us about that conversation?
Mr. Richards sold us the copper and said we could go and get it the same day.
Did you pay for it?
No, we was to pay later.
Can you remember anything else about that?
No.
And did you go and collect it the same night?
Me and Jack did.
And that's when Mrs. Richards came upon you?
Yeah.
Now, what happened?
I hit her with a mallet.
Yes, Leo, but could you tell us exactly what happened?
Well, I was keeping cave, you see, when I heard her coming, so I got behind the door with the mallet.
Is that what you told Sergeant Barnett?
Didn't say nothing to him.
What do you mean he's making all that up?
He's put the verbals on me, that's what he's done.
Yes. It's he saying that Sergeant Barnett made it all up.
Leo, Sergeant Barnett also said that you told him that there hadn't been a fight beforehand. Now, is that true?
I didn't say that.
Or was there a fight beforehand? Can you describe it to us, Leo?
Well, it all happened very sudden. I can't remember nothing much.
All right, Leo. Please stay there.
No cross-examination, my lord.
Mr. Golding?
Now, Leo, you know there's no need for you to protect Jack Smith. He was looking after himself for a good many years before you came along. So why don't you tell us the truth?
I am telling the truth.
No, you're not, Leo. You told us that you never said anything to Sergeant Barnett. Now, that's not true, is it?
I didn't say nothing.
The truth is that when you and Jack Smith were together in the cowshed and you heard Mrs. Richards coming, you got behind the door and struck her with the mallet as soon as she entered. And she didn't raise a finger against either of you, did she?
She was fighting.
You do know it would have been wrong to take this copper without having bought it, without Mr. Richards' permission. And you knew that on May the 12th. And you also knew that it's wrong to hit someone with a mallet.
Not if she's fighting.
Leo, how old are you?
My lord, that question is quite inadmissible.
Yes,
The boy's answer can only be hearsay.
You are quite right, Mr. Dealey.
My lord, how can I establish the boy's age if I cannot ask him?
Mr. Golding, that is your problem and not mine. I'm not here to give advice to the prosecution, but you could ask him how many Christmases he remembers.
Yes, that might indeed help, my lord. Leo, how many Christmases can you remember?
Dunno.
A lot?
Dunno.
I see. Well, now what was your best present last Christmas?
Transistor.
And Christmas before?
Skylectric.
Toy racing cars.
And the Christmas before?
Norman.
Who or what is Norman?
Nanny goat.
A goat? A live one?
My lord, I am instructed it is a live goat. My client and the boy kept it on the common.
Where is the goat now?
My lord, it had to be put down.
Oh, dear me. Couldn't somebody be found to look after it?
Well, unfortunately, my lord, most people seem reluctant to provide homes for goats.
Yes, I see. Go on, Mr. Golding.
And what did you get the Christmas before the goat?
Dunno.
Or before that?
Dunno.
I see. Well, now, how many Christmases can you remember, Leo? 9? 10?
1, 2, 5.
The last 5? Well, that didn't get you very far, did it, Mr. Golding?
No, I'm afraid not, my lord. Well, now, tell me, Leo, wouldn't you like to live in that nice school instead of on the common in that old lorry?
I like being with Jack.
Well, did you make any friends when you were at that school in Fulchester after you were arrested? Did you like being at that school?
Bit.
I see. And you do know that you could have gone to school before if Jack had let you. And you know that he's not your father.
He's better than my father and my mother. They ran off and left.
But you don't have to look after him, so why don't you tell me the truth?
I'm not saying any more. You're persecuting us, so Jack will get sent down and I'll get put in the care. I'm not saying any more.
I see. Very well. No further questions.
If you liked school a bit, Leo, and you had some friends, why did you run away?
Because of Norman.
It's the goat.
I wanted to stop him killing him, so I went over to Shepperton Common.
But that's 20 miles from the school. How did you get there?
Walked.
And what happened when you got there?
Nothing. He weren't there. They'd already killed him.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Leo. Have you any further questions, my lord?
No, thank you, Mr. Dealey. Thank you, Leo. You may go back to your seat. Mr. Parsons?
My lord, members of the jury, I shan't take up your time with speeches. I'll call my client immediately. I'm sure you're all anxious to hear from someone who can tell you the real age of the boy and exactly what happened on the night of the 11th, 12th of May.
The case of the Queen against Smith and Trotsky will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court.